Alright, YouTube, this is November 720 Sierra. This is Steve and Emily. Say hi,
Hello.
Emily.
Hello.
Okay. Emily's behind the camera today. So they're putting it on the tripod.
Yeah.
Alright, this is a continuation of our tool video. And my ADD has us all over the place, so it's not in specific any kind of order. But another thing that when I need to get, Evan talks about this. This is just a little metal ruler, and it's in millimeters and in inches. And not only do I use this for measuring, but I just take this and go down the sides of the metal to deburr the skins of the wings and the empennage and everything. And it's just a very easy way to do it without having to get fancy. It works really, really well. And I talked about these. These are the deburring tools. This is a Kohler. I actually picked it up at Lowe's. So you don't have to buy the expensive one. This is a Milwaukee one. I found it in one of the local hardware stores. So you don't have to buy the fancy ones. Now there is one that I don't have. Can't remember the name of it, but it's a small version of my dad's old drill that is like this, but it's a smaller version, about this size. And you put a little drill bit on it, and it reams out the holes too. So a lot of my dad's old tools here, so stuff you can't find anywhere else, except for the stuff that's been handed down. Okay, this is something else that was handed down. I don't need to buy a motor mount for my engine once I get to that point. Of course, that's years away, but I have a 3/4 ton chain hoist here sitting in the garage already. So when we get to the motor, I just put that on it, crank it up, and put it into the firewall forward kit. So you don't necessarily have to buy the crank one. If you've got something like this laying around in your garage that you've had for years, like I have, just use that. Okay, so on the pneumatic side, of course this goes to my air compressor, but I did put this little piece on here. And this is a little hose, this next little piece, but it does have here a way to control the PSI, because the rivet gun works at about 90 PSI, so I can crank it up. And when you're painting, I've been watching some videos. Now I am not even close to painting yet, but I've watched some videos on aircraft painting, and the primers are laid down at about 20 PSI, and the paint is put on at about 30 PSI. So you need a regulator to nicely regulate your pressure. So I bought this and used this on the end of my air compressor hose here. When I'm doing stuff, it's a nice way to regulate the pressure. So I just wanted to show you that. I forgot about that. One other thing. Okay, this workbench, that bench, my organization thing, the cradle that I built for the D2, DT, or whatever, the dimpler out here, everything's on casters, okay? So I am able to move any of this stuff anywhere. I can put it out in my driveway, I can move it around the garage, anything I want very easily, just because everything's on casters. So think about that too, because that can be helpful when you have a smaller area. Now there's a guy, Ball Pilot out in North Carolina, and he's got a huge hangar at his house. His hangar is probably bigger than my house, and he probably doesn't need anything on casters because he's got a huge hangar and got lots of room. But I'm a smaller group, smaller build. Well, we're both building TSIs, but anyway, it just has a smaller area, so everything's on casters, so we can move it around. So that's something else I wanted to do. All right, let's go over to the toolbox. Okay, just some everyday shelving here. This has other stuff on it, gas for my lawnmowers and stuff like that. But this one, well, I'm a ham radio operator, so I've got some radios up here. I got 10 meter and then UHF and VHF. And I am going to put a ham radio into the airplane as I'm building it. Probably going to put an Icon 2730 in it just because it has a large face and easy to see. All right, so I bought a case of Scotch-Brite pads, the maroon ones, to rough up the aluminum. We've got an aircraft simple green. We've got some Superfill Part A and Part B here. And you'll see this on other people's videos. This is for filling in the divots and the rivets, and then you sand it before you paint it, and it makes a real nice flush look. So that's what this is. This is just a bunch of books that I have for aircraft stuff in here. All right, so I've got a drill press here, which I have been using for the airplane. Now, a lot of this is woodworking tools. I do have a grinder over there that I've been using. I have a bandsaw. I have two bandsaws, one set up for wood, one set up for metal. I've got another drill press over there. Sanders, planers, joiners, different. I got belt sanders and oscillating sanders. But that's all, most of that for my woodworking. But a lot of it you do use in the aircraft stuff. I've used this a lot. And the grinder down there. So, okay. So I started off with just my little toolbox when I started. You know, and up at the top you just have your larger stuff, your hammers, and I've got some files in here. And let's see, I had sockets in here, but I moved them. In here I just have lots of different types of screwdrivers, standard stuff, pliers, wrenches, down here, just the standard stuff you normally have at home to do things around the house with. Okay. Now this one I did go out and buy when I started figuring out I was going to do the airplane. So here I got a series of carpet knives. What I'm going to use them for the airplane, I don't know. But anyway, just put them in. Now, as I said, I got a whole bunch of Sharpies with different colors because we do use a lot of those. And I got other stuff in here just because I had it. Let's see what I got over here. Oh, ratchets, extensions, different sizes, plastic became a extension for a breaker bar. So I just keep various stuff in here. Now these are all sets of wrenches. These happen to be Craftsman. Everything in blue is metric. Everything in red is SAE. So it's just an easy way to remember which ones are which. So I keep those in there. Next down, just various stuff. Another breaker bar here. I don't think it'll fit here. Oh, it does. Okay, so I'll stick it up in here with the breaker bar stuff. All right. Oil filter wrenches. Stuff for working on your cars. Just typical stuff you have around the house. Now this one is more stuff for the airplane. I've got a series of, they go into the holes in the airplane so that when you put the wire through it doesn't chafe. So I have various sizes of those. Of course, a manual rivet gun. I have hex keys in SAE and metric. Just various files, just different things that I'm using for the airplane build. A set of side dikes. I've got a spring-loaded center punch. I've got some metal files down here. I have a set of drill stops in the 10, 20, 30, 40 range here. Countersink bits. Just various stuff that I've had. And let's see, next down here, again, stuff I got around the house for woodworking. I got a set of chisels, one of these, I don't forget what you call it. I got some Milwaukee drill bits here. I got some Milwaukee wood drill bits. I've got nut drivers. Now these particular ones, this is I found this kit on Amazon. A lot of stuff on Amazon. This is 2.5, and there is 0.9, 2. Anyway, it's a whole set, and they're a hex thread at the end. These you will use quite often on the airplane. So buy yourself a set of these, and when you're using the nut drivers to put a lot of stuff in towards a lot of the finishing stuff, you'll need sets of these. I've actually already used some of these when I was building part of the empennage and putting in some electronic stuff. So what do I have in here? Actually, I'm not sure what that is. I got a bunch of old just drill bits that I've had. Some reducers. I went ahead and bought this one plate here. It's a Cobalt one from Lowe's. It just puts all of your sockets out in the open. Metric and SAE to make it easier to pull out instead of having to go find them in the other thing. So I found it was just more for organizational. I happen to like that. And like I said, just a bunch of other stuff that I've had for a long time that I just needed to store them. A lot of my woodworking stuff. Got a Craig. This is a, what do we call this? Oh, pocket hole jig, yeah. Which I've used on a couple of projects around the house here, so nice to have. Again, nothing for the airplane, but just some stuff, just showing you my toolbox. This is all electronic stuff, sets of small screwdrivers, lots of different small needle nose, of course, voltometers. Now this I did buy for the airplane here, and this is a digital micrometer, and I have used it several times. So you can do it in millimeters and in inches, and it's digital. And let's see, I gotta undo that, and then I can roll that out. And you'll use this on the airplane, so go ahead and get yourself one of these. This particular one is a it's a Neiko, Neiko Tools digital caliper with a decimal display and fractional. So you will need one of these. I've actually used it already. So soldering stuff. Anyway, just a bunch of old stuff. Anything for electrical I threw in here. Down here I just have C-clamps, a bunch of router bits, some sheetrock stuff. Now these we did use on the airplane, 10 snips, and we used that when we were cutting some holes for the VOR antenna. So, oh, and this is a laser level, so we did use this on the airplane several times too, so just a laser level. It was just nice to have. I got the batteries out so it doesn't go bad. But that was nice to have also. And then down here, got the XT Pro set for the rivet gun. Have a paint gun, which I haven't used yet, and something else. Let's see, now these I did get for the airplane in case the aluminum gets bent. You can use this to make everything flush again. I have several of those here. I have a pneumatic drill that I have used. However, this one's forward and reverse, but I can't get it to work. It doesn't go backwards. I couldn't get it. I'll have to take it apart and figure it out. But anyway, I have the pneumatic drill. Now these were a nice set of cobalts that I bought. These are ratchet wrenches, SAE and metric. I probably should add them back up in here, but I haven't taken them out yet. But they're a ratchet set, so just more things that people suggested that the ratchet sets were nicer to work on parts of the airplane, so I bought a set. All right, so those are my toolboxes, with basic just household stuff plus more stuff for the airplane. Got a parts washer, which I'll be using later on in the airplane build back there. Actually, I have a gantry crane sitting on the floor, which has not been mounted. When we move, I'll mount that overhead. Have a couple of different miter saws down here. I've got a table saw sitting over there below the dimpler. Nothing really for the aircraft, but I have a couple other Sears Craftsman table saws at another house. Let's see what else. That's probably about it. Let me